Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, third-year quarterback Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys take on Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, we're off to Seattle for the 32nd and final home opener of the 2018 season. Standing by are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. Set to return now. Here's Deontay Thompson. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And taken down. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Prescott from the gun. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. The former first-rounder Barkevious Mingo. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
2 sacks last week. Another one right here. He's been unblockable lately. I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And despite the 3 touchdown passes he threw, there's a lot to work on this week, wasn't there?
Oh, ton of interception.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going really with almost a 1-to-1 ratio, that's not going to work for you well at all. Not over the long haul. The beauty, though, somehow found a way to win.
Yeah, they still got the win last week. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They go play action here on first down. Rolling to his right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. And we take a look at the offense for the Seahawks.
And wide receiver Tyler Lockett continues to improve as a route runner and a playmaker downfield. But let's not forget his main use, kick returner. Knows how to break open a game in that area as well.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. David Irving breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Steps away. He's got a man open. That's Marshall. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
And this is going to be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
This offense begins and ends with Ezekiel Elliott. He played in only 10 games last year after leading the league in rushing as a rookie, but still led the league in rushing yards per game for the 2nd year in a row. When he gets his hands on the football, everyone comes to the edge of their seat.
3rd and short yardage, Prescott. And that's caught by Beasley. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. A Dallas first down, Prescott hooking up with Beasley.
So how would you describe that one, partner? Workmanlike right there, getting that first down, blue-collar type football.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bobby Wagner coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, you see, and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you. You change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And a look at Seattle's defense.
And safety Cam Chancellor has had injuries hold him back a little bit the past couple of seasons. But his ability to stand in the middle of the field and intimidate receivers from going in that area, as well as delivering bone-rattling tackles, makes him a valuable asset to any defense.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. On the left side, he finds Beasley. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They convert on third with a gain of 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
A first down carry for Smith. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We keep talking about the impact that hybrid players have had on the NFL. Those guys who can do multiple things. I think Cam Chancellor fits that perfectly. Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? No, he's a football player.
And they love him in Seattle. He's been there ever since he came in the league in 2010. Second down, Prescott. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And an alley to run. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. A first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. It's 1st and 10 from the 12.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Here's White. And Beasley's got it. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley, his second touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball out of the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. As we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This is taken at his 4. Oh, a nice spin. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski adds the extra point, and we are tied at 7. And they're able to get the connection on a long touchdown pass, and that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. They go play action with Wilson on the move to his left. And that is incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. To throw is Wilson. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There was nothing available there for him.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Now after the made field goal, here's Sebastian Janikowski to kick it away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10. A handoff to Smith. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Out of the gun, it's White. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. They go play action now. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out, fumble. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
After the interception, here's Wilson, eluding the pressure right. He lets it fly for Lockett. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. 2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait and enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Out to his left. And he's going to air this out for Baldwin. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects it.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
Now White. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. Back to the air on second down. White. He hits Beasley right side. The 30. Past the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley, 84 yards. And the Cowboys are in for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the run.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain of 32 that time. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Flush to his right. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. On second down, here's Wilson, rolling to his left. And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go. The intended target, Doug Baldwin, and it's 3rd and short. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and he's just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. 1st and 10 right at the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And Janikowski bangs it through. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports halftime report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. We'll start with the big one in Southern California. The first time in a couple decades that 2 LA teams are squaring off with one another. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. Finally, let's get to the desert. Check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail the visiting Chicago Bears. 2 touchdown passes there for Mitchell Trubisky. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the third quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. They give them a gain of 37.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Now a play fake here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards on the play, and that'll make this a second down. From the gun, it's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Ed Dixon, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
It's not a great revelation to say that it's going to take a lot to replace what Jimmy Graham gave this club from the tight end position, especially in the red zone. But that had to be an encouraging sight for Russell Wilson right there as he finds one of his replacements for the touchdown.
Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. There's Wilson to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Prescott looks to throw on first. And Beasley with it over the middle. Touchdown, Cowboys! Cole Beasley, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try.
And that 3rd counter there gives them the lead, and it's obvious they've needed everything that he's given them today. The 3 touchdowns, that's impressive, but without him...
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out, and the Seahawks have recovered.
Well, that 2-point attempt failed due to the fumble, but people that can't see this, but you got a ball in your hands now, and you got the thing locked in pretty well. You got it covered up.
I love having a football in the booth. I always hang on to it. It makes me feel like I actually played back in my day.
Well, you probably could have. If you had run that play, you would not have fumbled, I can tell you that.
Maybe. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll run with McKissick. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. This is caught inside the 15. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Doug Baldwin, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead. And
now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Now it's Wilson being chased out left. And this is incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Looking to throw. Prescott. And this one caught by Beasley. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he finds his target, Terrence Williams. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They didn't.
Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end, Ed Dixon, was the target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Play action. It's Wilson. He'll buy some time right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 47 yards. They go play action here on 1st down. Forced out to his left. It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. He's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. So a tiptoe catch back in the end zone, so tough to do, but he made it look pretty easy.
Certainly did, and the back of the end zone is treated the same way as the sideline. You have to get your feet down in bounds for it to count as a catch. How about the backgrounds of some of these guys, though? Did they work on it? Maybe some of them were ballet, some dance, who knows?
Yeah, you and I were talking the other day. I remember one of my favorite kids shows growing up. I don't know that I want to name it, but guys like Lynn Swan, they used to be on there showing their ballet skill.
And you have to remember when they were kids and their parents would tell them to take the ballet classes, you know they were fighting them like crazy. But right now they're saying, thanks, Mom.
Out to kick is Janikowski. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now here come the Cowboys. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to get the run game going. Here's Smith. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Cowboys in possession of the football, but they trail here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A first down throw for Prescott. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
First down, Prescott. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. A second down throw for Prescott. His throw incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And now another one thrown incomplete. Right there in coverage, the veteran Cam Chancellor.
Well, I've got to give him some credit there. He tried to sell the out route. He tried to sell it hard. And as a receiver, what you're really trying to do is maneuver a defender inside to give yourself a little more cushion breaking to the out. But how about the defender reading it really well, not buying the fake or the maneuver inside, and getting to the sideline and helping break up the pass?
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Here's McKissick. Room to run past midfield, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They go play action with Wilson. Steps away. Going for it all. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. Despite the lead here in the 4th, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays? Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
I like the play call. Roll him out. Give him a chance to run it or throw it. In this situation, he decided to fling it but couldn't find his man open.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Wilson on the move to his left. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still 8 up time, got points, so while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here's Thompson to return it. He'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off near the 44, and they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
And time for us to spotlight Doug Baldwin. He's north of 150 yards in this game. He's been doing his thing, hasn't he?
That he has, and he's been enjoying himself, and it's the type of game that you get locked into a pretty good groove. May not be record-shattering, but it's the type of game that if you accumulate that throughout a season, you can be one of the top receivers in the game.
See how much they incorporate him here on this drive. Now Davis. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Steps away to his left. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Gotta go, in and out, let's go.
The 1st down carry for Davis. And now running right through it. He's to the 10. And down to the 7-yard line. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Davis. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. He'll get it up the middle. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Game in hand. The offense takes the knee.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. And Janikowski bangs it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
Good company, man.
Aren't they, though?
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And out now come the Cowboys. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And they cannot do anything to stop the clock defensively. 3 straight wins to start the campaign now.
And this is where a team, privately, within the confines of their own room, their meeting rooms, the locker room, they start to think to themselves, we're pretty good. We should be a playoff team.
And they cannot do anything to stop the clock defensively. 3 straight wins to start the campaign now.
And this is where a team, privately, within the confines of their own room, their meeting rooms, the locker room, they start to think to themselves, we're pretty good. We should be a playoff team.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Seahawks, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
you.